Welcome back to Minecraft on the Windows 10 version, my single player world. I'm out here in my backyard. House is over here. We're expanding this way. I'm not 100% sure on how and what I want to do things. But I've built a jungle wood roof on top of that part. And then I'm extending this one out this way, and I think I want to make more like a round shape or maybe a larger shape and have an enchanting room. I kind of want just a dedicated thing for enchanting. That's what I'm thinking right now. Where'd that cow go just now? So there's an extra cow. Oh, by the way, that guy keeps visiting, the wandering trader back there. Don't judge me, but I keep killing his llamas, and that's why I have like 18 leads now. They drop leads as well as leather. Yeah. And this cow, I think I want to go grab him a lead, go lead him back with the other cows. Come this way. I don't know where there's an entrance. Oh, I guess over here. Come in. No, in. Inside. I noticed there's another one walking around, so we'll take that one back too. Now you may have noticed the big holes over there. One of them, well, actually most of the two, was filled in with water. And I noticed that there's a bunch of stuff, like useful types of blocks under it. Oh my gosh. There we go. Yeah, just hang out there for a while. I'll have to make a more useful pit for animals that they can't escape out of easily. I have an idea for that, but it'll take a little bit of concepting and work. So I'm letting these trees grow, and then I'm cutting them down, and I'm not replanting them for right now, because I might have to move this. I mean, I already have a row of trees growing over there, and then I have the tall trees that are very, very useful, and also a jungle tree behind there. Those turn out to be very good sources of wood, especially the spruce logs. I've been using those the most here with all these pillars and all these walkways. So those are the block I have the most of, but they also being used the most. But yeah, this was filled in with water. I dug out all the useful blocks that I wanted from down there, and now it's just this big pit, and I kind of don't know what to do with it. And since I've been building stuff above ground, I figure I might as well just try to fill it in with water and make it into like a little lake. And I feel like it's time to take out this clay. Clay, of course, is interesting in that, I mean, it's nice to look at like this, but I could use it as clay. I could make bricks. I could turn it into terracotta. Ow. Although there are badlands biomes, the closest one is kind of far away, and I'll have to visit them, and those are a good source of already made terracotta. But yeah, as you can see, it goes all the way below here and all the way down through, and then back up here. So yeah, let's get up top side. Let's go clear some of this grass out, and I'll be right back with you once I've filled it all in. Change of plans. Instead of building a lake, I spent the last couple of days digging this out to be an animal pit. Now, I've got a bunch to show you because a lot has changed, so I gotta do a little circle there and show you the difference. I still absolutely love and adore this cat. So yes, animals are fantastic in this game. So I've extended this part. Now you saw that already. Extended it to the side. And I have built a kelp farm. I found some kelp close by. I'll show you that later. But let's first visit the animal pit. The scaffolding blocks with our new string farm and slash spider farm and the bamboo that we've been planting. You can just go up and just let go of the jump button and you'll just stay where you are. Or at least at the closest block height, basically. And you can go up, go down, and mobs don't really know what to do. And then this cobblestone wall also keeps mobs out. Now down in this pit, that's also why I have a wall all around it. Mobs from outside, they cannot come in. Maybe spiders, but I don't know. So here I've got the 2 horses that I tamed. They're just hanging out, they're like roaming around a little bit. And they've got some water there and some hay. That way they can eat and drink, basically. Theoretically. And then over here I've got sheep. I'm trying to sort them into colors. Gotta dye some of these, like this one, this one, this one are brand new. So I'm trying to get some dye going for all of them. There you go, now you're stuck, buddy. It's been a little tricky, and it's not the best design, but I'll be able to remove those leads if I want to. But it's working. So I've got a source of wool. I've got the horses. And over here I've got 1 pig. I haven't met any other pigs yet. So once we find another pig, we can add them to here. And then over here I've got a bunch of cows going. So start of a cow farm. Those were all the ones that were up there, and I bred some more. So if we go back upstairs, you can see this kelp farm. It's just a manual farm. It's 15 blocks wide. Because that's happened to be the amount of kelp blocks I had. Now there's some scaffolding blocks here, so you can just walk inside. And I can just slap all of the kelp. And then swim up to gather it. So I do have to do this manually. It's not automated. There's no pistons. But it does work. So here I've got more than 2 stacks of kelp. So if I just swim down, well, I didn't mean to plant that one. Now if I was faster, I would be able to do this without choking. Okay, there we go, flawless. So we have 2 stacks and 21 to spare, 22 to spare. So that's great. Theoretically, they can all grow easily to the top here. The maximum theoretical height that kelp can get, according to a video I watched, is 24 blocks. But because of the rate that they grow at, I've only got this up 10 blocks. I think it's 10 blocks of glass, not grass, and then 1 more row of diorite here. So I think 11 is the maximum that they could get if they grow all the way into this top block. So that way we can get kelp going. With kelp we can, well, obviously cook that into dried kelp. Also look at that view over there. In the dried kelp, I've already got 2 blocks of that just from the first harvest. And that is a good fuel source. So we have to cook kelp to make dried kelp. But after that, we have a more reliable fuel source that's just going to last longer than our charcoal. Even though we still are going to make lots of charcoal, because I want to use regular coal for coal blocks. So then we can use charcoal for torches, and torches we can use for lanterns as well. So yeah, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff in our future. And then, you know, the kelp blocks will be great for cooking and smelting anything. I put our map, I made an item frame here. Okay, that's interesting. Let's put the map in our hand and then on the wall. So, let's see if it updates. Probably not much to do for that. we are down here. Obviously, where this little green dot is, that's where we are. We're down at the green dot. Our spawn was all the way in the top left corner of this map, in the middle of the jungle. And I walked all the way down. And this part here is a village, this little taiga biome in between these two plains areas. And then what I did was I went all the way to the east here, and on only that little part of the island you can see there's a swamp area. Like here, if you see my cursor, there's right here, there's swamp, and there, and then also up here. And right down here is a little bit of roofed forest. So I was able to get some birch saplings and some dark oak saplings from there. So I have every tree now except for acacia in my area. And they can just grow around out there because there's so much room. And then I explored to the north, and there's a frozen sea here. So like there's ocean with the ice up top, and blue ice, I think it is blue ice. So that could be cool if we have silk touch or something to generate or harvest some of that, I should say. And because apparently it's a type of ocean biome, I did find kelp growing in there. So I decided I can just get a little bit of that and bring it over to here. Now kelp, for the kelp farm, I wanted to pick a light color. So I'm growing it on sand. You don't have to use sand. You can do dirt. You can do gravel. It grows on just about anything. But I wanted the light color, and I like the polished diorite here. And then I could have used panes, I suppose. But I like these glass blocks. It was a lot more than I thought it was gonna be. A lot more blocks. And obviously, I dug this pit out, and it's a lot more space than it needs to be. It's a lot more space than I had initially, but I kept finding also like pockets of the diorite and andesite and all that, and the granite. And I am copying kind of this road style from the YouTuber Dallas that I watch, because it works. And then one plan that I have for future like road design is have a sewer running underneath it, and then you can have a hole in the road and then use a scaffold block, and you could like sink through if you held down shift. Mobs, as far as I know, do not know how to scale the scaffolding, at least not any more than like one block. Why are they all huddling together? One thing about mobs I've noticed, I don't know if it's just the Windows version or what, but they seem to want to roam around, and sometimes they want to go quite far from where they're hanging out at. They can wander quite far away from their home. So there's some stuff I'm thinking about doing, like I want to maybe build a little bit of walls or roofs for these areas, because personally, maybe it's just my personality. This dude is hanging out here. I don't know how I think he spawned in there, because I don't know how he would have gotten up there. But I feel like this is a little open, and now on one hand it's cool, and I designed it because it's safer. Like if there's skeletons down there, they could shoot at me, but you know, I could hide. And if there's other mobs, well, they can't get to me. But it's still very open. As you can see, there's no walls. You could just fall off, like I just did earlier. And yeah, I might want to put some walls inside so that it's like covered up and I feel safer. That's just the way I am. I like being enclosed. It's almost not claustrophobia, but claustrophilia, if that makes sense. It's like the opposite of claustrophobia, because in claustrophobia you're afraid of being in an enclosed space, and I almost prefer that. Like, I prefer having walls around me, so that I know, like, no threats could approach me, basically. It's a very animalistic thing, but it's weird. Oh, there's a chicken up there. I threw some eggs against a tree, just, I fell into the little chicken pit. And then I threw a bunch of eggs just against the top of the jungle tree, and I guess a bunch of chicks fell down, but I guess one at least stayed up there. That's kind of cool. So let me know if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea to put some walls in here and what kind of blocks I could use. I'm liking this. Oh, a spider over there. I'm liking this kelp farm, and from a distance it starts to look a little bit odd, and I'm kind of digging that. I'm kind of digging the idea of having these awkward, weird platforms and farms that are all attached to this. And this building is going to become incredibly ridiculous and convoluted, and I'm all about it. I'm kind of interested in doing that. And maybe, you know, in a future project we can have a base where things are more logical and more planned out in a way that makes sense. You know, this one doesn't make as much sense, but I don't really needed it to. Oh, look, a zombie horde. Or a swarm, I suppose. That one has a shovel in the front. They're forming a little conga line. Okay, one thing I haven't made yet is a smoker, and apparently you make it with a furnace and some logs. And that is for food items. You know how the blast furnace, how I was disappointed with that because it seems to only cook ores? How does this one work? Oh, it does let you make the kelp. That is very cool. I could end up liking this. So it takes 9 dried kelp to make a dried kelp block, but 1 dried kelp block can cook 20 items. So if that means that for every 1 dried kelp block we can make 2 more dried kelp blocks and have a little bit left over. So all in all, that's kind of a sustainable business. I also ended up finding, in a dungeon, I ended up finding some seeds for beetroot, so I've started growing those. Those are a good source of red dye. Okay, so one last thing I wanted to show you before I go prepare for the next project. I've got these birch trees here, so that's the start of some birch wood, some lighter wood, and then just over this way, here's a dark oak tree. You can see that it's like got the dark brown on the inside of the bark. Like it's slightly different color. Like you can see it's more brown and less red. There's less red color tint in it than the spruce bark. And the spruce is light on the inside, whereas this is darker. So it could have some uses, because it is also the wood, the planks are quite different. Here, if I get some planks of that, I can show you right next to each other. It is darker and a lot more brown, a lot less muted. So there could be interesting use cases for that wood. So now I've got, aside from acacia, which I still need to find, I've got every wood type in the game surrounding me. So that's pretty cool. Alright, I'll see you very soon, hopefully. I'm thinking of building, if not the enchantment area, a melon farm. So we'll see how that goes. I'll see you next episode. Thank you for watching and goodbye.